Hi, Sarah.
Hey.
One of the things I've noticed over the last few weeks with my clients is that although they're all very much individual, there
Mhm.
have been some common themes that are running through, and I find myself sometimes giving similar elements of advice.
Mhm.
Do you find that that happens with you in your business as well?
No, it's interesting you said that because I gave some advice again the other day with a client, and my advice is writing everything down. So it doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, whether you write it down with pen and paper or you just type it into your phone. And I realized when I got off the call, I was like, I say that a lot because it's not just with clients I say it with. I say it with my friends, or maybe some family members that might be going through a situation. We're just trying to say, just get it out of your head, just get it onto paper. I think pen and paper, I think the power of writing it really is amazing. But sometimes that's maybe not possible. You're out on a dog walk or something, and actually, so just type it in your phone or email yourself. And I just
I
find
quite
that
like voice memos. Do you ever do that? So
oh my god,
I'll
yes.
quickly leave myself a quick audio memo and be like, all right, well, that's done. I'll come back to that later.
Exactly. But the fact you're getting it out of your head into something, in some form of tool, is really useful. And I realise that it doesn't matter what's going on, it's just getting it out of your head. So almost then you're removing some of the stuff, and then it just helps with the pressure on your shoulders sometimes, and just getting it out. So yeah, I'd say that's my common thing that I say, and I realise I say it a lot, and I do it myself. So I don't give advice if I don't think it's either I've done it before or it's been worthwhile. I definitely do it a lot myself. I've even got a massive list next to me right now of things I want to get cracking on with and things. So yeah, but
I
what about
honestly
you?
couldn't agree more. It's the most important thing is get it out of your head. I'll be, sometimes I can be quite, it can look quite childish in my sessions because we'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about like the amygdala brain, like the big scary response brain, and we'll talk about him being the lizard brain, and then we'll nickname him as Mr. Lizard. Now, some clients go with us, obviously others will be terribly horrified. It might not work, but I'll think about, but I always say, get it out. I want you to physically visualize pulling something out. So that big bundle of darkness and twistiness and string that's just going round and round and just causing you like a headache, just pull it out. Then we can separate it out and then we can work through it. So I
Exactly.
suppose it's probably similar. So it's just kind of breaking it down, isn't it, into
It is.
piecemeal?
And
You can only
sometimes
do so many things at one time.
well, that's the thing. And sometimes you've got so many things floating around and different projects and different things, whether it's home stuff or kids stuff or family stuff. And actually, if you just get it down and go, right, what's priority? What's going to work next? What should I put in first? Or actually go, right, who do I need some help with? Because sometimes it's a case of like, I've got too many things to do here. Who can I ask for help? Or who can actually help me deliver some of those things? Whether it's a business thing or a life thing, it doesn't matter. It's about finding those tools that enable you to be able to start to get rid of some of those things and put the time aside to do it for sure.
Yeah, and prioritizing then and working out
Yeah,
what's the most important. So
definitely.
I was trying to think of an example. Like, let's say somebody comes to me and they're saying, do you know what? Everything's gone a little bit out of whack. I'm just
Yeah,
not feeling right. I'm not eating well. I'm not sleeping well. And then we'll work through and say, well, what if there was one thing that'd be the most important right now? Would it be
yeah,
helping your skin? Would it be helping your tummy? Would it be regaining that sleep? And often it could be like a sleep element or a stress element. So we need to talk about moments of relaxation. Like, right, that's all I want you to focus on.
yeah.
Because it goes back to my beginning of when I went to a kinesiologist and I went along with all these years of health.
Mm,
And she said, right, well, we've got, XYZ, I don't know, 5, 6 things listed out.
yeah,
We're going to start with the first one.
yeah,
Oh, I mean, it was just marvelous because you feel like you've got a plan. You feel like
exactly,
it's achievable.
exactly.
One of the things I find myself saying a lot of time is like slowly, slowly, like slowly, slowly catch you monkey. Just break it down. Just choose
Exactly.
one or two things, depending on how small they are. Just focus on that, feel comfortable, make those changes, get
Mm,
into that routine,
yeah,
notice it's become a pattern, and then be proud. And then be like,
exactly.
right, now what should I do?
Because quite often one thing can ripple and affect something else, and actually sometimes in the case of like, well, I don't need to worry about that now, that's I've sorted this out, and it's automatically sorted out a few other things that were kind of getting in the way or troubling you, or actually were a hindrance to you, and almost removing that, whether you want to, and it kind do you see what I mean, where it kind of the ripple effect happens.
And it's almost as if those we've pulled out so many because they've been sat up here making us feel so pressured
Yeah.
that we pull them out as 5 separate things, but actually they're under one common theme. And
Yes.
once you've dealt with that theme, it's like you've knocked all
Exactly.
the pins down at one
Exactly.
time, isn't it?
I
It's
know.
brilliant.
And then you do get time back sometimes, you just find that you actually think, oh, I kind of removed that list, and there's some pleasure about getting something written down and then put a fat line through it and go, yes,
Oh,
got rid of that, got rid of that. And so, and then you realize, actually there's a lot more down there that I didn't even need to have written down, but it's always good to get it out of your head, for sure.
I am such a list person. I want that dopamine hit. I want to write it down, tick it off, feel proud, give myself a pat on the head and be like, woohoo, I've achieved something, and then move on. You know,
definitely, I'm a big one for that.
I love it. Love a list. I suppose one of the other things that I do, if clients coming to me and we're breaking things down and we're wondering what to do, is that I will give advice. We've talked a lot about how we love to collaborate, and sometimes I might say, and I know that I've sent some clients to you and I've said, actually, you're getting stuck more in a life coaching or business coaching kind of way now, or a career element. Right, we now need to shift that. I think you need some deeper support. Other times I find myself recommending books a lot, books and websites and podcasts and all that sort of thing.
Definitely.
And just because I think part of what we do is we facilitate, isn't it? So we're giving to other people and suggesting things for them to go away and have a little look at.
Because yes, we've got a pot of knowledge and a pot of information and things like that, but a lot of the things that we've obviously learned over the years is actually taken from other people that have been, you know, inspirational, and they've written books and they've done YouTube things and they've set up websites to give people information. So it's like a whole load of library stuff that I like to be able to point to people to. Like I like to point people to certain areas with their maybe their business, and they were like, oh, I need somebody to build my website. I know somebody, I recommend this person. So that sort of sorts that out. But actually there's some other stuff about self-learning, isn't there, that is really, really useful, and it's actually kind of, you know, gives you proper practical ways of doing things. And I'm quite a practical person. I love learning new ways and new things to ultimately make your life a bit easier. So I've got one of my favorite books, and it was recommended to me by my mentor that I had 2-3 years ago now, and he was fantastic. But I was struggling with balancing two sets of roles, and I was like, how do I still carry on moving my business forward whilst I'm still in a part-time role? And he recommended The One Thing. So I brought it along with me because I thought I'm bound to talk about it because I love it. It's one of my favourite books. And it's fantastic. It just enables you to break things down. And he said about moving your needle forward. So even if you do one thing in the day, whether it's one email or one Instagram post, or write up one thing, or contact one person, you're doing one thing and it's moving the needle forward. And when he said that to me, I was like, oh, I feel so much better. And it's all come from that book. And it's a really great way of breaking down your year goal right down to literally what you're going to do that day. And it's a really powerful book.
As in moving yourself a little bit closer to the goal that you're trying to achieve? Is that what you mean?
That's exactly. And it's literally just moving that needle one point across and one point towards the goal. But it's also learning to not beat yourself up when you may feel like you've not achieved something that day. But if you look back and you go, well, I've sent an email, that's moving your business forward. You're moving one bit forward. You're making that one connection. And it's just a great way. And I love recommending it to people that feel like they've got a lot on their plate, and they feel like they're kind of needing something that just helps them become a bit more focused, but breaking it right down to literally the nitty-gritty of doing the actions. So yeah, I really recommend that book.
I've definitely heard you talk about that book a lot, and I think that one of the common themes that my clients have come along, and to be fair, even myself, just the thing is, it's very easy to get overwhelmed these days and feel like we've got too much going on and think, gosh, I haven't actually achieved anything by the end of the day or the week or whatever. So I like that you're choosing like one. It could be a small thing, it could be a big thing, but you're just incremental shift.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Definitely. So do you have one book that you would recommend that when you're talking to your clients and things?
Well, do you know what? I thought you were going to ask me about books because I am a massive book person. But even though I've had so many wonderful sessions with you, I can't just do one. So I thought for me to start, I'd bring along a few. So here are my favourite.
What you like, sir?
I think it's probably because my business approach is, because it is so holistic, it's so different. So some people could need like the gut health focus, some could need the energy focus, some need the anxiety and the mind control and honestly battling overwhelm. And one of these books I remember reading as a teenager is called The True Power of Water.
Oh, okay.
This is an interesting one. Masaru Emoto, fascinating chap. He used to take little droplets, trying to find you a little picture here, little droplets of water, make little crystals, and he would see about them, but he'd put them in different environments. So he would, I mean, absolutely, I'll write about this later, but he'd put them in different environments. In one way, he would whisper positive phrases to them and then see that the crystals were beautifully formed and incredibly symmetrical.
Yeah.
And then in another experiment, he'd put them in a much poorer situation, like a colder temperature room or in the dark, and he'd say negative things. So you've got both a physical and that emotional kind of side going on. And then they were really irregular and really jagged.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand this book for a long time.
No.
I think I found this when I was like late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
And I thought, gosh, that's really interesting. But I'm afraid I didn't go any more profound than that.
No.
Until I've now kind of undergone my journey. Now I realise the importance of being kind to yourself. Like,
oh my God, definitely.
Why do we smack ourselves over the head all the time and tell ourselves how rubbish we are? I mean, it's constantly. So I think along that theme, I love that if you want to see something visually. There are some other books in terms of Louise Hay, total kind of stalwart of energy medicine here. You Can Heal Your Life. She has another book here. And I must admit, these all sound terribly dreadful because I used to think they were all a little bit too, I'm awful, I use the term American, I can't think of another one, but just a bit too in your face, a bit too self-help. But now I realise I prefer the term personal development, and that is much more comfortable. And this is all about deeply understanding what's going on in you and your world. So she also has a book where she links a lot of physical symptoms to emotional states. Quite fascinating. Like, I constantly get sore throats, or I used to, sore throats was like always my area. And in her element, it's all about the fact that you're not speaking your truth, you're not able to get it, you're not able to, and you just think, gosh, that does link up really.
I've heard that. I've heard that before, and it's really powerful. Really powerful.
It's incredible. I mean, she's got an entire movement, God bless her, in all to do with different affirmations and tapping into things that you can do. But I just think sometimes it's just starting to look inside yourself. Still on the energy front, another total hero, Donna Eden, energy medicine for women. Wonderful American lady. It's just incredible. What I like about this is all the practical kinesiology points that I share with people, the meridians, the tapping, the touching, the acupressure. They're kind of all in here. There's so much you can do to look after yourself. And then I've got one more book, if I may.
No, that's fine.
And then I'll be quiet. Because if sometimes people find the energy world, and I say it like that, I adore it and I find it super powerful. But I also didn't used to understand it, so it also used to switch me off years ago. So if for some people that's a little bit too far and they don't want to talk about energy in that way, then I refer them more to a practical chap who I think I mentioned last time, GP, Dr. Chatterjee. So you come to a very more structural, that kind of more, medicinal side. He's also got naturopathic qualifications, and he just breaks it down into, your 4 pillars of health. And I think with that, then I've got different combinations of books and things to suggest to people at different times.
So you've got a lot of sources of information that you're able to pass on to people, which is fantastic. And it's
I wish I had one though. My gosh, that would be marvelous. But maybe I need to make one myself in the future. But it would be a tome with 5 or 6 volumes.
And I have loads of other books that I definitely recommend and things like that. But from a practical point of view, and sometimes when people are feeling a little bit overwhelmed at the beginning, and they've got lots that they need to get done, and it's just breaking it down. And when particularly if you're a career person and you're needing to swap seats, you might go part-time because you might be setting something else up or trying something else out. It's just ensuring that they don't feel overwhelmed, and it's just a great technique and great way of breaking things down, which is really important for our clients.
I love that. So I think what I've got here is multiple things to offer people at different time. I do not suggest that people go and buy 5 books and try and work them through. It would always be one at a time. But I think I've got different options, whereas you've clearly found a beautiful book that just helps people. Right, if there's one tip to take away, it's one thing at a time. So therefore,
Definitely.